you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I am Annapurna Harish from GIIS Abu Dhabi, class 7. And my question to you is...
And you're in class 10 or 12?
Class 7th.
7?
7.
Wow, all right, okay.
And my question to you is, if you could travel back in time, what piece of advice could you give to your younger self and why?
Well, actually, this is going to sound terribly conceited, but I'd say to my younger self, you did the right thing. I say that to you simply because when I look back on my life, honestly, I couldn't have planned any of the steps that have led me to where I am today. My approach was, do what I'm supposed to be doing at that time as well as I can. So I happened, unfortunately or otherwise, to be extremely good at taking examinations. So I kept coming first in everything, and that became the yardstick by which my teachers knew me and judged me. And my parents were happy about it, but for me it was never enough. So, for example, when it came to, in those days we used to stream in class 9 between science and humanities. And I chose humanities, and my teachers and principal were so upset they called my parents to the school. And they said, what is the matter with your son? He's our best science student. Why is he taking humanities? And my parents, like good Malayali middle-class parents, always wanted me to be a doctor and engineer. So they were very upset, and they said, what's the matter with you? You always come first in science, why don't you take science? I said, because I can't stand the subject. They said, come on, you always do so well in the exams. I said, yes, because I know how to prepare for exams. But the day after the exam, I'm happy to forget everything I learned in science that year. Whereas if you ask me about history or literature, I will have read far more than the textbooks have taught me. I will go to the library and I've read things that interest me because these subjects interest me. And that's why I want to study them. And I must say, my father had the imagination and the vision at that point to say, all right, do exactly what you want then. You have to be happy. And similarly, when I was leaving school, the same thing. I did extremely well. I got the highest rank possible in the senior Cambridge examinations, as those were called in those days. I came first in the state of West Bengal, we were in Calcutta in those days, and the marks were such that I was first in India as well. So I could have studied anything. And I said I want to study history in college. And in those days, no one with my marks did history. They would always do a more challenging subject with jobs available. And again, my father said, why do you want to do this? What will you get? What job will you do with history? I said, I don't know, but this subject interests me far more than any other subject. So again, he allowed me to do it. When you look back objectively, these were seemingly foolish decisions. But at every stage, the support and faith that my father had in my own judgment meant that I took choices without a long-term horizon. I couldn't have said that by studying history in college, I was one day going to be a United Nations official or one day be a member of parliament. I couldn't imagine that. But I just said, this is what I want to do now. I'll do it as best I can and then see what is the next possibility that opens up. And looking back, as I said, I couldn't have planned the life I've led, but it's ended up to where I am. And I believe, for me, I just made the choices that seemed right to me at that time. And I would urge you all, develop that much faith in yourself. If you know what your capabilities are, if you know what your interests are, if you know what you enjoy reading, studying, doing, then that's what you ought to do. That's what God has put you on this planet for. Do it and do it as well as you can. All the best.